spin behind, it's commonly used as a top control, but it links really well to back control because it connects to the chair sit. So we'll show it from kind of a side control position, and then I'll tie in how it goes if you want to do back control. So on your back, please. So in side control, whatever your side control is, there's kind of two options for this guy. He's either going to turn in or he's going to turn away and keep going and turn into you eventually, right? So both ways are facing you. So if he turns in to face you, that's the quickest way, but also he's meeting the most opposition with my arms and stuff. So what he wants to do is he wants to establish an underhook. And if he can get this, if it's low around my leg or whatever, and if he builds up to his elbow, it's really difficult for me to prevent him from doing anything, right? So what the spin behind is basically is instead of trying to pin him on the side control position, we're just going to move around to the back. So when he comes up on the side and he gets that underhook, right? The first thing we want to do is if you take your hand and put it on his hip for good base, and the other part is you're just going to drop your weight into him. This is pretty, not being super rough, but you can definitely pin your partner's arm down or head down pretty hard. So even with this, because his posture is so broken here, his alignment's no good. If he tries to come up right now, it's pretty difficult, right? Another thing is you'll notice we're still kind of perpendicular right now. When you do this, what you want to do is give yourself a 45. So kind of point your head and hand towards his hip. So I won't be too hard on the head, but basically we're going to sprawl out to a position like this where our hand is on the hip and the head is here. So if he wants to come out, pretty difficult. When we put all the weight on the hand and the hip, our feet become light. So you can step over slowly, drop the knee down, and you're just gonna switch your hand around here. Depending on how your length is, I'm short and I have short arms and I can't bring my elbow over to his far side hip, but just covering the hip is enough. I'm just gonna do a big back step, and then you're gonna have your knee kind of up by his shoulder so he can't roll back onto you because your leg is in the way. Make sense? Great. So I'll show it from a different angle. So yeah. So again, if you're here and he tries to get this underhook, right? You don't want him to be able to build up to his elbow and get into you, right? So as soon as you feel him push that underhook, you want to have a good hand on the hip and push down on the head and put your weight here so that your feet become light so you can move. Sprawl out to a 45, right? And then if you were to do this slow, it's literally just walking over, putting your knee, switching your arm over, stopping, right? So you can drill this and rep this with people you can do it fast or slow, they come round and round. So the second part of how this connects to the chair sit would be, again, you already have this kind of hook. You just connect your hands or block the shoulder. You can switch it to the chair sit and drop to the side. So it's kind of a top control, back control. If you don't decide to use the chair sit, that's fine. Just keep working him, flatten him out. But it's always advisable to take the back whenever possible, just because your chances of finishing are way better.